Welcome to Muffin Movie Talk.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jack,
I'm Ron.
and we just watched There Will Be Blood. Josh, what are your thoughts overall? We'll go overall first.
I'd say, watching the movie, a little bit confusing. The whole Paul Eli brother situation, both played by Paul Dano, and then just a lot of the timing of the shots and how it flowed together. There's definitely some confusing moments in there, but I mean, it's a timeless movie. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. It was really slow to start. It was not quite what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be about kind of a range war or a rivalry between two oil tycoons, but it ended up being something completely different, almost a character analysis of Mr. Plainview. And now that I look back at it, I understand it. I'd say they executed that well. But upon watching it for the first time, I was really confused as to what the goal was. And yeah, there were some very confusing parts. Like you said, the Paul Eli thing, that was very confusing. I thought they would have done more with Eli and made him more of an antagonist, but they kind of just turned him into a loser. Ron, what do you think?
Really, I'm overall extremely disappointed by this movie for what's so highly regarded, as one of the greatest films of all time. I kind of feel as if this is really a true disappointment for me. At least I feel like it lacked no true purpose, and to just say it's a character study.
91 on Rotten Tomatoes and 8.2 on IMDb.
That's pretty dang good, but I mean, we're going to get
5 out of 5 on Common Sense Media. Interesting.
That's great. I mean, I think it overall didn't really lack a true plot, I would say. I really wanted to see one through story. I feel like as soon as we left, spoilers, I mean, obviously it's a 20-year-old movie. I feel like whenever we left the cult and whenever we saw Eli being mad at his father and whenever he started shoving him, that I love that first half of the movie. I'm like, this is gonna be one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the first hour of this movie. But as soon as we got to him leading his son, as soon as we got to getting away from really the oil business and the religion, I felt like the movie completely lost its footing. Especially with the brother that wasn't his brother. That was just a complete waste of time.
That was very confusing.
So not only was it confusing, it was just not. There was no actual needed purpose for that in any way. Like I truly believe that if you.
It sort of served some of the descent into madness plot thread that you had going with Mr. Plainview.
Well, he just doesn't trust anybody.
I also don't feel like he would turn into a kind of mass murder here.
Mass murder, 2 people.
Two people. I mean, sure, but that was in what, a year?
I
think
but
that
it's
pretty much
it's the early 20th century. A lot of this stuff happened.
Caving guys head in with a bowling.
That was a little extreme, but like Josh said, the sense into madness, he kind of became all consumed with himself. But I will go back. After watching the first hour of this film, I was very excited. I thought this was going to be a cult, attack. Like I thought it was going to be, a war or an attack from the cult on the oil tycoon and like the rig. I thought this was going to turn into something very cool, kind of Midsummer-esque almost.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah.
But it totally did not. It took a U-turn in the complete opposite direction, and I will admit I was slightly disappointed because I like the kind of more action-packed movies, with a little more tension in them. But this. It's very long, drawn out, very deep.
It was very tension-filled.
I felt like I was on the quote-unquote edge of my seat. Although I may have been disappointed, I feel like.
Well, I felt like I was on the edge of my seat, but I got disappointed every time when I was on the edge of my seat. I thought I was looking forward to something like really cool happening.
Yeah.
Nothing like really cool per se ever happened.
Okay. Okay, I feel like that's kind of rude.
Rude.
Yeah, I would say
there
was
was
cool
some
stuff.
pretty decent
cool
scenes.
stuff. I wouldn't say
like
that.
after the first hour.
Death,
I know after the first hour, but like that's it. On the edge of my seat.
I like whenever he had to go to Christ. I thought that was a really cool moment.
Oh, he abandoned me. Yeah, that was a powerful moment. Very very interesting.
Yeah, I thought all that was cool. I thought all that was pretty interesting. But I was like, overall, I was pretty disappointed. Because I felt lost. I kind of felt lost in all areas of the story.
Lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce. Who's the director of this movie?
It's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay.
He's pretty,
I'm
highly regarded.
sure well regarded and sure. Yeah, but
too much sauce.
Too much
sauce.
I don't know. What other movies has he directed that I was probably have seen?
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Maybe just not my guy, and that's fine.
No, that's
somebody Anderson.
Yeah,
Wes.
Hey, I thought the most underused actor in the film was 100% Paul Dano. I wanted Paul Dano to go absolutely crazy. I wanted him.
He did go crazy.
Not crazy enough, but I wanted him more
They turned him
crazy.
into a loser. By the end of the
They
movie,
turned him into a bomb. They turned him into a loser. I wanted him to be a super fun, super crazy cult leader, and it would have been him versus the oil tycoon, and it would have been fun. It would have been fun. That would have been fun. But instead, we get this loser, semi-religious at the end. You know, he thinks God gave up on him. So it was like, what character traits does he actually hold? He held nothing at the end of the day. But I guess we're going to talk about, because that's all because of capitalism. No, it's because you wrote, a not great plot structure for your film.
Yeah. I mean, comparing it to Gladiator 2, which you saw
You want
2
to
weeks
throw
ago.
back? Okay.
Well, I just throw back. You know, we've watched 2 movies so far as a collective, and Gladiator 2 was much.
I like
more
Gladiator,
entertaining.
and I wasn't even a huge Gladiator fan
yeah,
compared to you two guys.
yeah.
You know, so
Definitely more entertaining movie.
Absolutely.
Gladiator was.
Yeah. When it comes down to rewatchability and entertainment, this movie is not very proficient in either. Like, I would not say this is like a movie I'd rewatch in the next 2 to 3 months. You know, it's not a plane you can not a movie you can just like sit down and watch with your family.
no, you gotta be locked in. You
You gotta be
man.
locked in.
And even if you're locked in, you're still probably gonna miss
Lost in
it.
the sauce. I was lost in the sauce.
This is a 2:00 at night. You got nothing else to watch, and you're just trying to put yourself to sleep.
I completely disagree with that.
I think this is
I
I have nothing to do. I'm gonna watch this movie 3 times in one day, so I make sure I miss nothing.
No, this is
a total commitment movie.
This is a theater
movie.
movie. I feel like this should be seen in a theater. I feel like you have to be in the right mindset, and I don't know if I was in the right mindset going into the movie. You know, maybe pre-game was a little rough. You know, a little warm up could have been better.
I was expecting more.
But honestly, at the end of the day, it's not on me to deliver that experience. It's on the filmmaker. So, I'm not a complete hater of this movie. Like I said, I love the first hour. I love where it was going.
The oil rig
Not where it
explosion,
headed.
very cool. The whole
Sure, that was
process
great.
of drilling the oil and buying the land, that was very entertaining. That was a kind of deep dive into that. That whole period of history is very cool. Prospecting. I
I thought
enjoyed
that
that
was
part.
fun.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
that part. Like the whole oil aspect. The
Whole lot of build up and not a lot of payoff.
Well, I think there was a whole lot of build up, and I guess it was their purpose to show that I read something. It was like the let me see. Y'all keep talking while I'm looking for it.
I mean, I think the main point of the movie, I think the theme was a little bit similar to Whiplash from 2014. It's that, like, if you really want to succeed in what you're doing, you got to sacrifice everything and everyone around you.
Yeah,
He sends his son
becomes
off
all-consuming.
to deaf school. He pretty much cuts himself off to everyone and everything in his life, makes himself, turns his heart to stone a little bit to become a more successful business.
He has that whole
I
dialogue.
don't feel like that made sense though.
But he has
I feel like
but
he could
remember
have.
he had that whole dialogue talking about how he sees everybody else as a competitor. He's come to hate people.
With his brother, not brother.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere. Where I feel like if you would have written that into his character at the start of the film, I feel like it could have, turned out a little bit
See,
better.
I think that was actually one of the parts I liked more about the film, because at the start, you don't really think he's that bad of a guy. I mean, he's got a little kid, he's helping out. He says he's going to help the town. But then as the movie goes along, you realize that everything he says and does is only to make more profit, and that he's not actually wanting to help out the town. He doesn't even actually care about HW.
2 for you, Jacko. 2.
2 Kit Kats.
Double dipping.
Jeez.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't actually care about his adoptive son. He only used him to, make himself more likable to people he's trying to buy land from. So I thought that was actually pretty cool that we don't really learn the full extent of his character until later on.
What was the part? Oh, I thought was crazy. When he threatened to cut that guy's throat.
Straight into madness.
Oh, that was completely out of nowhere. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I didn't feel like that really told his character. I didn't really feel like that's what he was showing.
I feel like that could have been placed a little later in the film, but for the time it was misplaced.
Yeah, I mean, like, me and you talked to each other during the film, like, hey, this kind of feels out of nowhere here. I don't really know where we're going here.
Like when
And
he
I
started
just
when he
felt
started beating up Eli. What the heck?
Yeah, what was that? What was that? I
I
like.
tried to kill him. He set the cabin on fire.
No. HW did. Am I tripping?
Oh, we're talking about Eli, yeah.
Like in the
no,
oil
he
field.
just wanted to bully Eli.
Well, yeah, and I think Now looking back on it, I think that goes back to
I feel like that
he
goes.
sees everybody else as a competitor.
No,
and he
it-
hates.
no.
I think that's it.
No,
I think
that goes against of him being an actually good businessman. If he was actually being a good businessman,
he's not supposed to be. He's
Yes,
supposed
he
to be.
is.
He's
He's supposed
conning.
to be
the
an
best
oil baron.
businessman.
He's supposed to be the best businessman.
He-
Well,
he
you know what
does.
good businessmen
Well, are you
do?
saying good as an effective or good as morally good?
Good as an
Oh,
effective.
yes.
Good
okay,
as
I
it
thought-
makes money. Well, he made a lot of money.
Yeah,
was
sure, he
pretty
made a
good.
lot of money, but that really doesn't go. A good businessman is not just going to put a guy in the dirt just to have fun with it. No, that's not what he would do. He'd make a friend just to use him later.
But
That doesn't make any sense for his
businessmen of
character.
back then
His
are different
only
from today.
no, his only really mentality is to make money, and I don't know how. Making fun of the most important person in the town and shoving him in the dirt, putting his face in the dirt.
A sort
I
of
don't understand-
dominance.
Maybe he was putting him in his place.
Yeah, but he's only doing it from his own facility workers. He wasn't doing it in front of the crowd. He's only doing it to make an enemy for absolutely no reason, and that
To
does
make
not.
himself feel better. Because
But that does not speak
internal
to
drive.
anything else that's talked about in the film. I mean, like, really, as
Well,
him as
it
a
goes to-
person.
It goes to the competitor speech.
Sure, it
It's
goes.
just his little crazy side. You know, a little part of.
We all got our-
I feel like it left
Got a little
completely out of
angry.
nowhere, and that's not really how
You got
he
some
would
quirks.
act.
You got some quirks, Ron.
I got a little quirks, but I wouldn't say that it has anything to do with this. I mean,
Stool.
okay,
Let's
so
keep private business right in the podcast. I don't need to bring that up.
yeah. Overall, do you want to talk? You want to go? You want to talk more? Or do you want to go final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts here. Okay, we'll do final thoughts and ranking. Josh, what do you got?
What do you mean ranking?
Gladiator 2. Which one do you
Okay.
got?
Final thoughts. I think I would like to watch this movie again. See if there's, I appreciate it more in the second time now that I have a general idea where the plot's going. But just based off the first check, stop playing footsies with me
Not
during
playing
the
footsies with
podcast. Just based off the initial watch, it's about a 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I mean, initial watch, not what I was expecting. Kind of slow to start. Not really my type of movie. I do appreciate the first hour of the film. I
You
enjoyed
just said
that.
at the start that you didn't like the first episode.
Yeah, you said you like the last one.
Yeah.
Well, no, I never said that. Y'all
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
not
gaslight
really
me.
Yeah, it's because I have that opinion, so he's trying to follow.
No, y'all trying to gaslight me. I said the
No,
first
no,
hour
we
was
can
the
go back.
best
Okay, you
part.
can have your opinion,
Yeah.
Jack.
Oh, we'll go back. I said the first hour was the best part. It's not
pretty sure you said the last
bandwagon.
hour.
I said the first hour
I'm
was the
pretty sure
best
you said
part.
you
I said
liked
the
it.
last hour was bad.
Bash is
Go, keep going, keep
I
going.
did not say that. Yeah, this gets a 6.57 for me.
6.57.
7, really?
7, dude.
That's a little high. That's
We're
okay.
just throwing
No,
these,
that's his opinion.
yeah,
That's
hey,
his
we're just
opinion.
throwing these around, I guess.
My
Okay.
heaven. No, I mean, okay,
And you obviously have Gladiator 2 high.
absolutely. Like,
Okay.
I'll call it a 6.5. Like, are we ranking it from what we think, or like, are we
What
also
we think.
What else would
What
you
else
rank
are
it
we
from?
thinking?
the other, like, the other implications, the implications on cinema. I read an article saying that like it
Implications on
changed,
cinema?
No, you got to read the article I
We're
read.
not doing macro scale podcast
I-
here, Jack. Whether you like the movie or not.
I
How
didn't
much?
like it.
Okay.
5.5.
5. There you go.
Okay, so
We're
we just switching our opinion because we're making you
No,
guys'
no,
opinion? 'Cause
stop.
you had a
I didn't know what we
6.57.
were
Hold on.
gauging it by.
Jack, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you like this movie on its own?
5.5.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Jeez.
Don't have to
I didn't
type
know
up
how
the
we were gauging-
socioeconomic implications.
I
of
don't
the
know how
movie,
we're
Jack.
gauging this stuff.
That's how much you liked it. All right,
Yeah.
Ryan.
All right, in finality, I'd probably give this.
3.
No, I'd give this 4.5, 4 out of 10. There are some redeeming qualities. I just wanted to be a little bit more negative here
cult.
for whatever reason.
Ron
Yeah,
just
I
makes
wish
it
that I wish they would have really dove into kind of like the crazy more part of the film. I felt like that would have been a lot more fun. You know what I mean? But I felt like overall, 4.5 out of 10. I'm gonna leave Gladiator 2 above this. I had Gladiator probably
Absolutely.
right at a 7.5, 7. So yeah.
Thank you
That's
for
gonna be it.
watching.